Good morning everyone. This is class 6th, subject social science, chapter number 6 of history we are going to start today. Name of the chapter is Kingdoms, Kings and an Early Republic. This is our lecture number 1. So here in this chapter we will talk about the new kings and kingdoms. As in chapter number 5, we covered the Rigvedic period, in which we have done specially about Rigveda, the oldest book. Here we will talk about how the kings they came, how the kings they existed there in the society. So let's see which topics we will be covering today. New kings, Ashwamedha, Varna, Janpada, Mahajanpadas, fortification. So let's see about all these topics. The first topic is new kings. So how did some men become ruler? As earlier we did not talk about any of the ruler. We just talked there in that chapter, the people living there in society, they were categorized into two categories. One were Rajas and another Brahmins. So rulers or the kings, they were not described there. But if we talk about today, we know that today we have the leaders in our society. They are the elected representative whom we elect through elections. But at that time, how the king or the rulers they came or in society, or how did they become rajas or kings? See, around 3000 years ago, there were some new ways to choose rajas. Some men became rajas by performing sacrifices, and by performing different sacrifices, they proved themselves powerful than other rajas and became kings. One such ritual was Ashwamedha, that was performed by the rajas. So let's see what was this Ashwamedha. Ashwamedha basically that was the horse sacrifice, in which a horse was let loose to wander freely in Ashwamedha. The horse was guarded by Raja's men. And what was the process there? The horse that was let loose to wander freely, when Rajas they let the horse loose, the horse wandered in the kingdoms, other kingdoms. And they, if the other rajas or other kings, they stopped the horse, they had to fight with that particular raja who let the horse loose. But if they allowed the horse to pass, it means they accepted the power of that raja. They were accepting that the raja who was letting the horse loose was more powerful than that raja. So that was the criteria in Ashwamedha. Basically, whatever the area the horse was covering, that came in under the influence of the raja who is performing Ashwamedha. And after that, the raja who performed that sacrifice recognized as very powerful raja. And after then, what was done there? The other rajas and common men, they used to bring gifts for that raja. After the process of that horse, then the priest they performed the rituals there, and in that rituals the other rajas or common men they were called, and they brought different gifts for that raja who became powerful than other rajas. And the rituals that were performed by priest including the sprinkling of sacred water on the king. Sacred water means pavitra pani. As nowadays also in our houses we can see if any of the yagya is performed, so after then the sacred water Ganga Jal, that is sprinkling, the priest or the Brahmins, they sprinkle that sacred water on the people. So that was done at that time also. After completion or the rituals, they were sprinkling the sacred water on the king. This was the process of Ashwamedha. In this way, the new kings were chosen by the people. Now, the next thing is Varna. Varna, if we talk about, this is these are the peoples in different categories. Different categories were divided of the society in different Varnas. Here, if we talk about the Varna, the society was divided among 4 Varnas: Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, Shudras. These were the 4 Varnas among which the society was divided. Or as we talked about different rituals or Ashwamedha, in that Shudras, the last, were not allowed to enter in different rituals because they were considered the lower one. They were the people who were doing the jobs for other 3. So we will talk about all the Varnas here. Each of the Varna, 4 categories of Varna, the Hindu society based on occupation of different set of functions. All these Varnas, they were having a set of work with them. So we will be talking about all 4 Varnas. Firstly, see, there were different groups in society during that time, like priests were there, warriors were there, farmers, herders, traders, laborers, etc. So different people were living there in society. Priest divided all the people into 4 categories or the 4 groups. These were known as Varnas. Means the society that was divided into 4 groups, those were known as Varnas. 4 Varnas were the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Now we will talk here that these all 4 groups were having different tasks to perform there. So see what were the tasks that they were performing. 4 Varnas of society. If we talk about the first one, that was the Brahmins. Brahmins were expected to study and teach the Vedas to other people. This was the job or the task done by Brahmins. The first Varna, they were expected to study and teach Vedas in the society. Second one, basically Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas word that refers to the rulers basically. The second word, the rulers, also known as Kshatriyas. They were expected to fight battles. In that category, warriors, the kings, rulers, they were there. Okay, so in Kshatriyas, they were basically known for fighting the battles there. The third category, it was the Vaishyas. On the third place, there were the Vaishyas. They were expected to be farmers, herders and traders. We can say the common people of the society. Farmers, herders, traders, the normal or the common people, they were included there in the third category, the Vaishyas. The last was the Shudras. The last were the Shudras who had to serve all other 3 groups. Means they were basically known as the very lower people. And they were there to do the jobs of other 3 categories, Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Even As we talked about Ashwamedha or the different rituals performed at that time, these Shudras were not allowed to enter there in those rituals. So these were 4 Varnas of society in later Vedic period. Got it about 4 Varnas? And all 4 Varnas, they had the different task to perform there. Okay, the next topic is Janpadas. The word Janpada literally means the land where Jana set its foot and settled down. If you remember, in last chapter, chapter number 5 also, we talked about Jana or wish. That was used for the communities, the group of people. So here what does it mean? The word Janpada literally means the land where Jana set its foot and settled down. Means Jana, the group or the community, the society where they settled down, that was known as Janpadas. The Rajas, those performed the big sacrifices, had become Rajas of Janpadas. As we talked about the sacrifices there, so the Rajas who performed the big sacrifices, they became the Rajas of those Janpadas. So in this way, Rajas or kings, they came in society. People lived in huts, they grew variety of crops like wheat, sugarcane, mustard, etc. So archaeologists found the evidences that people in Janpadas, they were living in huts, they were growing different crops also, wheat, sugarcane, mustard, sesame, linseed, all these crops we talked about in Rigvedic period also. Only sugarcane, that is the new crop that we have seen here during later Vedic period. So this is about Janpadas. Here archaeologists found a special type of pottery also, and in that special type of pottery, what they found, that during that time, the grey ware, the painted grey ware was used by the people, and this special type of pot, special type of utensil, that was used on the special occasions. So what was found by the archaeologists? A special type of pottery was found during that time, known as painted grey ware. This is the picture in which you can see the different marks are also given, and this is grey in color, that's why it is painted grey ware. That was pottery, special kind of pottery found in Janpadas. Okay, the next topic is Mahajanpadas. About 2500 years ago, some Janpadas became more powerful. Such Janpadas were known as Mahajanpadas. Some of the Janpadas, those became more powerful than others. They proved more powerful themselves than others. They were known as Mahajanpadas. And what was the new thing found by the archaeologists? That the capital cities of these Mahajanpadas were fortified. We will talk about this fortified also. What does it mean? What is fortification? So the new thing there, Mahajanpadas, firstly what were they? We will define it in this way, that about 2500 years ago, some Janpadas became more powerful, and such Janpadas were known as Mahajanpadas. The definition you can write. Okay, then we have talked about the capital cities of these Mahajanpadas were fortified. That fortified or the fortification we will be talking later. Now, see the map. Here in this map, some of the Mahajanpadas are given, like Magad, Vaji, Kosla, Kuru, Gandhar, Avanti, So these were some of the Mahajanpadas. Those became more powerful than the Janpadas. So this is the map in which some of the Mahajanpadas they are shown. Now let's see the fortification. As we talked that most of the Mahajanpadas they started making the fortification around their capital cities. As in definition also we talked that most of the Mahajanpadas capital cities were fortified. Means they started making the forts, kile. Huge walls of wood, stones or bricks were built. Here built will come around the capital city of Mahajanpadas. So the capital city of Mahajanpadas they started making the huge walls around that. बड़ी बड़ी दीवारें बनाना शुरू कर दिया. It was known as fortification. I see the picture is there. In that you can see in first picture the huge walls are already made there. Okay, and the second it is one of the wall that the one laborer who is building now. So these type of huge walls, badi badi diware, they started building around their capital cities. And what was the purpose for building that? What was the purpose to build forts around their capital cities? See, why were they started making the huge walls around their capital cities? Reasons for building forts or reasons for building doing fortification of their capital cities. The Rajas of Mahajanpadas built forts to protect their capital cities. Definitely, if the huge walls they were making around their city, it for the safety purpose basically. Second, forts were built because people were afraid of attacks from other kings. So that was one of the safety measures that they adopted for the people living there in their kingdom. Because if the huge walls those were built around their capital city, that was the mark for the people living there as they were safe inside those forts. Some rulers wanted to show their power by building tolls and impressive walls around their cities. This was one of the reason, because the rulers of that Mahajanpadas, they wanted to show their power by building the impressive walls around their cities, because they were thinking if the king or the ruler is making the impressive walls there around the kingdom, that was the purpose, because they wanted to show their power. They wanted to show their richness by building those impressive walls. Rajas could easily control all the people living in fortified area. This was also one of the important reason, because if the people they were living inside a particular area, so it was easy for Rajas or the kings to control over the people. If suppose the people they were scattered in different areas, so it would be difficult for Raja to have the control. So Rajas could easily control all the people living in fortified area. So these were the reasons for building forts around the capital cities of Mahajanpadas. For the protection, because people were afraid of attacks. Third reason, they wanted to show their power and richness. Fourth reason, it was easy for the kings to control the people living in fortified area. So this is all about the reasons. As today we talked about the Ashwamedha, what was the process of that and what was the meaning of Ashwamedha. Then we talked about Janpadas, then Mahajanpadas and fortification. So for today's lecture this is sufficient. We will be talking about one more lecture for this chapter in which we will cover different topics. So the homework that you will do today, question number 1, why did the Rajas of Mahajanpadas build fort? So we have completed this topic, the reasons for building forts. Describe the 4 Varnas of later Vedic period. As we talked that society was grouped into 4 categories, and those categories were done by the Brahmins at that time or the priest at that time. So all those 4 Varnas of society you will describe here. Then the third question, define the following: Janpadas, Mahajanpadas, fortification. The meaning, you will write the definition for all 3. What do you mean by Ashwamedha? The meaning you will write here. Next is the homework solution of lecture 2, chapter 5 of civics. What problem did the villagers of Hardas village face? What did they do to solve this problem? The answer I forgot to write. So what you will write here? First, the problem that they got, the problem was water shortage. Then the different solution that we discussed there, we will mention here. The one suggestion was given that we should have the piping from Suru river. Okay, but it was expensive, that's why it was dropped. Then second idea was given that we should deepen the hand pumps and we should clean the wells. And the third we can write here, the watershed development program. So what you will do? Firstly you will write the problem. The problem that villagers of Hardas village faced was the shortage of water. Then what did they do to solve this problem? Then you will write all 3 suggestions. Clear? Otherwise also the answer I will upload there on EdQuark site also. Second question, find out more about watershed development and how it benefits an area. Watershed development program is an initiative of the government. It helps in conserving water. So this is the meaning. Then what benefits, how it benefits an area? Barren lands were turned into green meadows. The tasks performed under this scheme are: trees are planted, dams and tanks are constructed. Next is, what are the 3 levels of panchayats? The 3 levels of panchayats are Gram Panchayat, block level or Panchayat Samiti. At the village level it is Gram Panchayat. At the block level it is Panchayat Samiti. At the district level it is Zilla Parishad. Then fourth question, write the full form of BPL. The full form of BPL is below the poverty line. So these were some questions that you were given in lecture number 2 of chapter number 5 civics. All these solutions you will be getting there on EdQuark site also. So please check all the answers that you have already attempted so that there would not be any mistake and you will learn the correct answer. So thank you for today and have a nice day.